Η δράση βιβλία σε πρώτο πρόσωπο των Πανεπιστημιακών Εκδόσεων Κρήτης μας δίνει σήμερα τη δυνατότητα να συζητήσουμε με τον συγγραφέα του βιβλίου «Η εποχή των αλγορίθμων», Serge Abiteboul. Η συζήτησή μας θα αφορά φυσικά στην τεχνητή νοημοσύνη, η οποία εξελίσσεται καθημερινά, ωστόσο κάποια από τα βασικά ερωτήματα που θέτει το βιβλίο παραμένουν διαχρονικά. Ξεκινάμε λοιπόν τη συζήτηση με ένα από τα θέματα που απασχολεί έντονα την δημοσιότητα αυτό τον καιρό και αφορά στον έλεγχο της τεχνητής νοημοσύνης. Σερζ, θεωρείς ότι η τεχνητή νοημοσύνη συνεχίζει να αποτελεί ένα ανθρώπινο δημιούργημα και επομένως διατηρούμε πλήρως τον έλεγχό της?
Algorithms up to now are designed by humans. They are comprehensible only by their authors and other specialists. However, if you look at the effects of these algorithms, it could be the case that they are not even unforeseen by the authors, or they are not even understood exactly by the authors. That's one problem, but maybe the main problem is that other humans that feel the effects of the algorithms may not understand what the algorithms are realizing. For instance, just to illustrate, in France, we have an algorithm, Parcoursup, that assigns high school students to university. People complain about the algorithm, but they don't really know what the algorithm is doing. And in fact, they don't understand that actually the situation is much better than before, where it was done in some room, nobody knew what was going on. Now you can understand, if you want to, you can understand what the algorithm is doing.
Υπάρχουν μελέτες που δείχνουν ότι οι αλγόριθμοι μεροληπτούν. Αυτό οφείλεται σε ένα μεγάλο βαθμό στα δεδομένα που τους τροφοδοτεί ο ίδιος ο άνθρωπος. Θεωρείς ότι στο μέλλον οι αλγόριθμοι θα έχουν τη δυνατότητα να διαπιστώνουν αυτές τις μεροληψίες και να τις διορθώνουν μόνοι τους?
Algorithms are more and more involved in making decisions that impact our lives. Wow. That can be an improvement because it could replace a mechanism that was previously very opaque and unfair, but many things can go wrong. Many things can go wrong in many places. The data can be wrong. The data analysis can be wrong. The decision-making may be of poor quality. All of those can be biased. So it's very important when we do algorithms that are doing decision-making that we check the quality, that we check the fairness of such decisions. And of course, we want transparency in the process. So that's very important to check the quality. It's not easy to check the fairness. Is not easy. So let me illustrate perhaps with an example. In the US, there is a system called Compass that's been used for helping judges to decide parole for prisoners. Okay. So that's very important because it has a huge impact on the life of these people. They've been convicted. Okay, they were guilty perhaps, but now maybe they should be released. Okay, so there was there were big discussions about whether the algorithm was fair and not fair, and it's very difficult because it's really depending on how you define fairness. And actually, some researchers showed that there are two definitions of fairness that are incompatible. You can meet one but not the other. And on the face of it, I had to read the definition 3 times to see the difference. So it's difficult. But I think the main lesson that we have from Compass, the main lesson is that the algorithm was just poor quality. It took a lot of time to realize that it was just bad quality. It was bad data to start with. It was bad analysis and bad decision making. So essentially, that's what I want to insist. One of the big lesson that we have for these kinds of algorithms is you have to verify their quality. You have to verify also that they're fair, but you have to verify the quality.
Η κατανάλωση ενέργειας από τους υπολογιστές, οι οποίοι χρησιμοποιούνται για την λειτουργία των αλγορίθμων, είναι πολλαπλάσια από την κατανάλωση ενέργειας του ανθρώπινου εγκεφάλου. Οπότε θεωρείς πως στο μέλλον θα πρέπει να δημιουργηθεί ένα πλαίσιο το οποίο να ορίζει πότε πραγματικά ένας αλγόριθμος είναι χρήσιμος ώστε να σπαταλήσει την ενέργεια που χρειάζεται?
If we look at the environment, there is just no alternative to digital sobriety. We have to reduce dramatically our energy consumption. but we also have to reduce a number of other things like the metals that we're using, the minerals we're using for the digital world. When we watch a movie on a small screen, sometimes the resolution is absurdly high. People like crypto money, okay? Crypto money and blockchain, the technology that's underneath, illustrate the need to improve on that dimension. The algorithm that is generally used is based on proof of work. It's wasting on a huge scale. And there is absolutely no reason to do so. So that's really a problem that we have to tackle now. I mean, if we don't pay attention, so the increase in the impact on the environment is just absurd and not acceptable. So that's something that everybody has to really take into account now.
Πριν από μερικά χρόνια, 2 αεροπλάνα της ίδιας αεροπορικής εταιρείας έπεσαν, οδηγώντας στο θάνατο εκατοντάδες επιβάτες. Οι μελέτες έδειξαν ότι οι αλγόριθμοι που χρησιμοποιούνται στα αεροπλάνα αυτά ήταν υπεύθυνοι για τα δυστυχήματα. Η εταιρεία φυσικά ανέλαβε την ευθύνη και κάτω από την ομπρέλα της καλύφθηκαν και οι κατασκευαστές αυτών των αλγορίθμων. Θεωρείς ωστόσο ότι στο μέλλον θα πρέπει να υπάρξει ένα διαφορετικό νομοθετικό πλαίσιο ώστε οι κατασκευαστές των αλγορίθμων να αναλαμβάνουν μέρος της ευθύνης σε παρόμοιες περιπτώσεις και ειδικά αν υπάρχουν ανθρώπινα θύματα?
It is not as easy to detect who is responsible as you seem to imply. Who is the person who is responsible? Who is the company that's responsible? The bug may be in many places. The bug may be in a library that was designed for something totally different. A programmer typically sees a small spot of a very huge system. And, maybe you make a mistake in that spot, or maybe the mistake is not in that spot, but the mistake is in the interaction between different systems. I'm really not a lawyer, but for me, the responsibility is something that's not, you shouldn't point to the programmer or to the computer scientist who did that. You should find the responsibility to the company who is putting together or is deploying the system. That's their responsibility to impose very high standard of quality and of testing. A poor programmer, if you give the person a very short amount of time, there will be mistakes. The question is, how do you reduce the chances that there are mistakes? And that's really the responsibility of the company that's putting the thing together.
Πιστεύεις ότι η προβολή της τεχνητής νοημοσύνης σε αυτό το διάστημα, όπως για παράδειγμα συμβαίνει τώρα με το chat GPT, έχει μέσα της και ένα αρκετό marketing για εμπορικούς ή άλλους λόγους? Με λίγα λόγια, θεωρείς ότι υπάρχει κίνδυνος να ξαναβιώσουμε μία φούσκα στην τεχνολογία τεχνητής νοημοσύνης, όπως άλλωστε έχει συμβεί αρκετές φορές στο παρελθόν?
There are different branches of computer science that all use different kinds of algorithms. You have machine learning algorithms, you have big data, you have blockchain, you have metaverse. Regularly, one of these branches brings new development, new success, and gets all the spotlights. And then suddenly the journalists, the politicians, everybody gets very excited. The tech people are also a little bit responsible because they try to use this moment to get more money, and for that they do crazy promises just to get more fund. I think as a society we have to keep a cold head. There are breakthroughs, that's very important. We have to take advantage of that. We have to decide what we want. We have to decide what we want to do with the technology. Computer science is bringing regularly major technical breakthrough. Just look at what has been achieved in the last 60 or 70 years. I mean, that's just amazing. You look at most of the things you're doing today, you're doing it differently because of computer science. You can be impressed by the machine learning successes. You can be impressed by by your telephone. Okay, this telephone is just a computer, and it brings you millions of things that you would not imagine. For taking pictures, for instance, what you have in your smartphone is probably more capabilities that 20 years ago in a professional photo lab. Okay. Now, of course, there are all these successes, and the industry will have bubbles, may have bubbles, and that's that's industry, that's economy. That's we have to live with it. What's important is that computer science has been constantly progressing, and there is absolutely no reason to believe that this is not going to continue in the future. So whenever I hear someone, a scientist or a journalist or a friend, somebody in the street saying that, well, you cannot do that, it will never be the case that this will be possible, I have doubts. Yeah, maybe it will be possible. So now, for instance, the big thing, at least in France, is ChatGPT and this branch of AI, and it's doing things amazing, really amazing. But you will always find somebody saying, well, but sometimes it's totally stupid, sometimes it's inventing things, sometimes it's absurd. Yes, just you just have to look at the technology. If you know what's behind, of course, it's going to be absurd sometime. But 20 years from now, what AI and computer science will be able to do, I really don't know. I'm a computer scientist. I'm not trying to predict the future, but I can still say that I really believe that we will be impressed by what's coming.